My name is Brenda Herchmer, and I'm the founder and principal collaborator of the Campus for Communities of the Future. I'm here to share what we've learned about comprehensive transformation and how successful leaders are resolving complex challenges. The learnings really are the result of working with and observing communities and neighborhoods across Canada. They taught us a great deal about the leadership and the solutions that are required for an emerging fourth sector approach that places a focus on bringing together the best of all three sectors to address complexity. So what have we learned? We learned that now more than ever, it's evident that health, social, environmental, and economic well-being are intrinsically linked. We learned that ignoring the vulnerable puts us all at risk. We learned that global issues are problems without passports that need both international and localized solutions. Additionally, we need community developers who are able to work middle out to ensure global issues are embraced at the grassroots levels of our communities. Our systems really are broken, in large part because we're too segmented by sectors and silos. But we've also seen that collaboration and networks provide a significant return on investment and the trusted relationships needed for transformative change. But that also means impactful solutions require leaders who empower their stakeholders. We've also learned that more growth and innovation occurred when priority was placed on a different kind of collaboration, one that ensures stakeholders and citizens came together from different sectors in order to address broader ecosystems and to nurture the multiple interconnected initiatives and ultimately a more comprehensive, more transformative collaboration. The underlying root cause of many of today's complex challenges is a result of there often being an imbalance between economic development and quality of life. As a result, individual, social, and environmental health and well-being, and ultimately our overall happiness, may not be prioritized locally or globally. And while our existing systems were effective during the industrial era they were designed to serve, today they aren't always conducive to ensuring balance between the market economy and human values, nor are existing systems effective in responding to increasingly complex global and local issues. It's also evident that new economic models, such as Kate Raworth's donut economy, will require leaders able to apply multisectoral collaboration. Donut economics advocates for a model that ensures no one falls short on life's essential, from food and housing to healthcare and political voice, while at the same time ensuring that collectively we don't overshoot our pressure on Earth's life-supporting systems. The donut of social and planetary boundaries is a new framing of that challenge and acts as a compass for human progress that will ensure extensive multisectoral collaboration. While it hasn't always been acknowledged as a systems approach, in essence, that's what we often have observed in communities that were doing well. More recently, that kind of approach has been reinforced by the framework provided by the United Nations General Assembly when they articulated 17 Sustainable Development Goals. In essence, these SDGs, as they're often referred to, are a call for action by all countries to promote prosperity while protecting the planet. While many may still be of the opinion that these aren't their issues, the reality is that they represent everything that is wrong in our communities, and therefore they really are everyone's issues. In Canada, as well as in most other countries, our economy is comprised of three sectors: the public or government sector, the private or business sector, and the social benefit or nonprofit sector. However, the solutions for today's increasingly complex local and global issues require incorporating elements from all three sectors, each of which has a very different measuring stick for success. For example, the business sector is more apt to measure their success in terms of economic impact, whereas for nonprofits and governments, success is about being able to successfully address social issues and the public good. It sometimes results in having to weigh money versus humanity and compassion, when of course we need both. As suggested recently by the World Economic Forum, the solution may lay within an emerging fourth sector who have the responsibility for serving as the catalyst for bringing out the best from all three sectors. For many residents, particularly caring citizens with no particular affiliation, this was often less of an issue, and they simply got busy prioritizing the multisectoral collaboration that they saw as being essential for resolving complex issues by building on each sector's respective strengths. The reality is that we're living in a time of increasing volatility, uncertainty, chaos, and ambiguity, or what futurists refer to as VUCA, which is the acronym. The major shifts in all aspects of our social, political, educational, cultural, and scientific systems are going to require leaders and organizations able to serve as catalysts for multi-sectoral initiatives and the agile, responsive networks that are essential for innovation and transformative change. It also means that we need to work together now to think differently about a lot of different issues in order to ensure our readiness to respond to complex issues. What also became clear is that leaders, with or without a formal title, and more often than not they didn't, were observed practicing competencies that fell within three categories: systems thinking, community-led development, and strategic foresight. Those involved estimated that both strategic foresight and systems thinking were each 20% of the solution, while community development was 60% of the success. All of these competencies also needed to be supported by digital optimization. So why community-led development? Well, community development is really what we found mobilized the community in order to maximize the community. It built the trusted relationships and the sense of belonging that was essential, and really helped facilitate the integrated and multi-sectoral process that is so important. It contributed to agility and meshwork, and probably most importantly, created the citizen engagement and ownership that drives vital and resilient communities. The system thinking, well, that provided a framework for understanding the whole and seeing the interconnections, kind of like seeing the picture on the top of the puzzle box so you can understand how to put the pieces together. It also uncovered root causes and solutions for those complex issues, and new ways of thinking and creative and finding innovative, transformative approaches. Strategic foresight is really about providing new pathways for shaping better outcomes. It really helps people see the change comes from both the world as well from ourselves, and it promoted anticipation and readiness for both expected and unexpected global changes. And I think what it did was provide strategies to influence change within our own spheres of influence. So what else was different about the overall leadership that we observed in communities that were doing well? What we did see was that they were responding rather than ignoring the complex social, economic, and environmental issues. They placed an emphasis on work that was multi-sectoral, and they engaged diverse stakeholders and the broader community to be part of developing and owning innovative solutions. They really were committed to ensuring future-focused, leading-edge businesses, government, social profit organizations, and engaged citizens. The reality is that this new leadership required new competencies, and learning from the success of others has resulted in us being able to develop 8 competencies and performance indicators. And in addition to that, informal and informal learning opportunities that really were designed to strengthen that capacity so that it can be scaled. Additionally, an assessment is available to determine the existing 4 competencies required for organizations and enterprises. The assessment is really about assisting an organization in determining both their strengths as well as areas for improvement, particularly as it applies to being able to build capacity for collaborating externally. Overall, success resulted when a smaller collaborative cohort put a process into place that can be described as 3 essential paths. The first path was really about forming that collaboration cohort. It was about investing in the learning and the growth of this small, diverse group. The result of that is a cohort of leaders who, as a team, had all of the competencies essential for supporting the multisectoral collaboration needed for transformational change and innovation. The second path was that it was really about quick success. a multisectoral project or initiative. And it didn't really particularly matter what that project was. It was really just that it had to be something the community agreed on as being important. It typically involved a multisectoral initiative, and it ended up providing the essential foundation of trusted relationships and networks and webs that were essential for transformative change. We found especially that it really demonstrated a community or neighborhood what they could do, and they were much more hopeful as a result of understanding the power of them all working together. The third path, and this is what happened after the low-hanging fruit and the quick success of path 2, the short-term project, was that there was a readiness for broader multi-sector systems planning and being more future-focused. And the result of that, what we saw, was a readiness for more holistic, innovative, future-focused adaptive plans. All 3 paths were carried out with a planning process, and we do have several hundred tools that go along with that, but all of them emphasize multisectoral collaboration, which is why this planning framework is different than what we might see traditionally. So I'm Brenda Herchmer, and if you're interested in learning more, please do feel free to reach out to me. Thank you for your time and your attention.